and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. So hello there and welcome to my white ray Seraphim altar space. So what's under the Christmas tree this year? Definitely many things. This video will be dedicated to what I call the purity, the white lotus, the white ray. This is my specific ray of embodiment, so I have much to share on this topic. I would also like to, in the second part of this video, present to you my vibrational angelic seraphim art. It's been available on my page so far, but not to the fullest extent and a very minimum, because I have been preparing this in the background. I want to say that the first thing I wish to share about is the nature of the purity and the white flame of freedom and liberation, and why it is so important on the path of physical ascension, because it is the sharing about the physical ascension per se. There has been reading about this already. I have been sharing about this in my mission of a creation pillar, me as being one of those beings, and share through the beauty of the Alps, which is one of the portals where the white ray is basically being centered here as one of the main center points for all of the rays on this planet. And you can, if you haven't seen that video, you can, but I will also share the same writing here because I wanted to make it a separate video about the white ray specifically. I have been promising this video for a while. I want to say that this video is also dedicated to two main energies that I very specifically work with. One is the white fae, which is the white lady, the magic of the white fairy. I really think this image, if you can see it, very much represents this purity through the nature, embodiment, and the connection with all and the purity of the embodiment. And then Seraphim Bay. So he is the master, and as it says here in one of these ascension cards, he is and was the keeper of the white ascension flame in Atlantis, and is now the Chohan of the fourth ray of harmony. This is this white ray of purity. He is known as the Egyptian because he worked with Archangel Metatron to suffuse the Great Pyramid with cosmic wisdom energy at the time of its construction. So this is about the white flame and its influence in our lives, connecting with Serapis, and as well as cooperation, wisdom, and dedication to you, so our personal ascension. He is the only master to work with the Seraphim, and they will shower you with blessings as you tune into this ascension card. So this is the Serapis Bay card I wanted to share with all of you. I have been speaking about this before, but I want to say first, before I begin sharing the wisdom behind the white ray, that why I wanted to also share at this time specifically my art is because if you are somehow guided to support my work beyond what I just do through different courses and these free video blogs dedicated to our physical ascension and self-mastery, and personal sessions, perhaps I also have a great mission that is just vibrational in its essence. So I work with this connection with the crystal cave here we have in the Alps. There's magical crystals there. I will show you some in the end when I will pinpoint the art and the structure and the meaning behind what I do with this channeled vibrational art. So if any way you are guided to support my work through this means, please visit my page, Serapina Light. There's a few sections dedicated to Serapina Light products and Grace art, so you can find that as well, and the crystalline shop. So 3 main segments on my webpage. All the links are always shared down below. You can have your own exploration of it, but I also pinpoint and I share on my page many writings that help you see and tune into the beauty that's behind this, that's behind the white ray of purity. So let me begin. For me, my path has been always about constant purification and refinement of the soul, and I wasn't always aware of that. I was even born in my sun sign under the sign of Virgo in 22 master degrees, which is the sign of that constant purifying and mastering that and refined ways of inner outer service balance. When I started to be aware that my main embodiment is coming through the white ray of unity consciousness And I really started to connect with the wisdom of Serapis. And as I was tuning into some of his writings, I really started to become aware that this is almost like things coming through my own being and things that I've been talking about all this time. And it's been so on the point. And I found resonance because there was almost like sameness in the way of sharing and the way the words were spoken. So in my natal chart, I also have my Sun and Mercury conjunct in those 22 degrees of Virgo. So both are in the same degrees, Mercury and the Sun in the 22 degrees of Virgo, which for me was always translated as the divine communicator of that purity. So my main message is also not just to embody that, but also to communicate and speak about this in a very strong way. So I found this beautiful writing about Serapis in this booklet from these beautiful cards. These are this holy sacred grail, cards, and it talks about the Serapis. So it's in our language, it's in Slovene language, but I will try to translate it into English as I go. So direct translation is always a bit, it's not fully aligned. So I'm just gonna talk about as it comes and goes. So this is about the wisdom of the fourth ray. This is about being the architect, the artist, the genius, the guardian, the heart warrior, the knight of the light and peace. It's about harmony, beauty, and art in many ways. So it really resonates with somehow my soul has been calling me to do this art. So in the second segment, you will see me showing you some of the items because I was somehow guided to show them to you, because somehow Spirit reminded me that flat pictures don't always do the cause, and as well as camera, I really hope to one day here in the Alps have my own location, have my own shop, basically just this sacred space in a way. That's my word language of preference. I like to speak in a language that in a way it's very artistic. I like to use words that anchor a lot of royalty. I don't like so much plain language. For me, language in a way is where the art begins. So I think that is why my 22 degrees of mastery in Virgo, which is the purity of speech, the purity of thought being translated into form. And then the first purity of that impression, it's many times can come through art. As you know, I also do sacred devotional dancing and singing with attuning to the Seraph frequency. I don't do that often, usually just when I'm really called and guided, but it's being, in a way, again, alchemized through my body. And the more I embody that light, the sound gets more purified as well. So it's a constant work of mining that and for greater diamond light to come through that. So Serapis, let's get back to him. He's the Ascended Master. He encourages purity, discipline, order, joy, creativity, harmony, cleansing of the past. He teaches the discipline of the white fire, the purification, the cleansing, and the keeping of the purity of heart. He prepares for the ascension into the light. He teaches how to create, gain, embrace, and develop, and in a way also to expand and to share the gift of the creation of miracles and their working. So it is a lot about the alchemy that comes as a synthesis. The white ray is the synthesizing ray. In a way, for me, all my life has been very disciplined, and it hasn't really come through the external circumstances, because a lot of times people have authorities that they come and in a way they feel they need to be involved in that discipline through them, and people telling them certain things through that discipline. When they're, for example, being guided to study certain thing, they have to have a lot of discipline with that. Or they're learning to play an instrument, anything like that, that takes a lot of discipline. But for me, none of that was external. All that discipline was self-generated through me. And sometimes for people that's very intense, because they like to have things more in the loose. I'm very devoted to what I do, and a lot of times this will be my main stage. This will be what most of my energy will go to. And I don't like to scatter the energy. And as well as white ray, for me specifically, teaches the full claiming of our responsibility, because in another sense, you can't have full physical ascension because you can't claim this white light of purity before you take that full responsibility and say, I own all parts of me as my own, and truly walk into that state of liberation that comes through the discernment of the righteous, rightful living for you, through you. I'll give you one example, okay, because words are words, and examples make a lot of sense when we apply them. For example, when you see a lot of people talking about certain things that are external in nature, like how the collective is, or what's happening when we're transitioning through a certain planetary alignment. And for example, people like to say, wow, this is happening because Mercury is retrograde, or this is happening because this person did this to me, I'm a victim, they did this to me, this is karmic, this was destined, I have no power. All these things, when you start working with the white ray, you will have to own yourself, all of yourself. And you will see that, for example, in the case of you perceiving that, wow, it's Mercury's fault, and that's why I'm having miscommunications in my life, in truth, has nothing to do with that poor planet. In truth, Mercury slowing down just shows you, because you have greater ability to see, things come to the surface more when things apparently slow down from the perspective of our earthly timeline. In a way, you're just deepening your sight into what's happening. So any sort of miscommunication or lack of alignment with pure communication is because this essence is already within you. There are distortions that you don't clearly communicate through. So it just brings that into the awareness. So it's not about the planet, the alignment, the other person. White ray teaches you how to bring and turn everything back to yourself, because the white is the light that reflects everything. And that's why people sometimes fear the white light, because anything that will be right back bounced to you can frighten you, because you, for example, if you haven't owned your shadow yet, white light can be very intense for you to work with. And people who embody white light will have a natural sense of directing that reflection to the people in an instant time. So it's like an instant time frame reality. When we have still lack of that balanced integration, things will sometimes come with a little bit of lagging behind. But with the white light, everything is in the moment. Everything is clear, saying right now, clarity now, not later. So it does lead you into this fullness of the expression in your heart. And by the way, I am wearing my devotional jewelry. This is the Ascension medallion. I was guided to create those when I first started to come into terms in the awareness of the white ray, that this basically is huge part of my purpose. If not everything that I say is true, and true for me, and everything that stands for the light of the truth and unity consciousness. So at that time, the directive came, and I was guided to develop these because of what they represent, the ascension through the heart. And yet all these 12 golden rays, and the white and gold intertwining, because this is a gold and white ray, they represent that masculine, feminine as in unity, creation and source, and us as extensions of that, and us as in constant service to that. So the white ray is this constant devotion to service, but you're not serving just people around you or circumstances. You are serving the core truth as it is. So let's get back to Seraphim. He also helps with the making of the new art and the new golden age. The reaching of perfect harmony and balance in the heart of duality, so that there can be unity amidst what we can still perceive as duality. So any kind of karmic cleansing on all levels, evolution, the development, and the spiritual growth. He brings the inspiration and motivation, self-control, but that not the lower control, but true disciplined control of the self with a capital S. And I love that this capital S I also use as S for Seraphim, which are the creation angels level. Creativity, geniality, generosity, self-confidence, and sensitivity, but in a high refined sense and form. He also establishes the connection with the stars, the planets, crystals, minerals, and inspires all the artists, geniuses, prophets, psychologists, different creators, spiritual servants and aspirants that are a channel and the medium for this light. This is about gaining your inner peace on all levels, pure compassion in the strength of light and inspiration, the purity on all levels, and serving the commitment and being brave. This is all about the pure heart and initiation. the harmony that is within and without, so that your physical life and embodiment matches your inner world. That's very important, because for most of the humanity, it's not so. That's where you have extreme imbalances as well that are perceived from a physical sense. So this is reached through conflict as well. So if you had many initiations in your life, a lot of times they were there for self-mastery and further advancement as you've gained more and more in this path. This is the gift of the architect, artist, the genius, creator that harmonizes in the cosmic of colors and the melodies of tone, the peace, the seeker of beauty and perfect harmony. That's why I think this is very much aligned with the Virgo, and for me, especially in the master degrees, because you're constantly striving for that refinement of the soul. That's not the betterment, because you're not perceiving yourself as not already perfect and you need to be better. This is about the refinement of that inner diamond within you that already is. And this is what these medallions that are sacred devotional tools of that wisdom, they represent. This is also about the foundation of the pure light, the rainbow warrior and knight. So this is the possibility of spiritual enlightenment and physical ascension. So this is what I was guided to share here. White ray, for me, it's not just about one thing. They're actually all interconnected and intertwined, because when you're committed, you're devoted, you do things of devotion. In a way, everything you do is sacred and it's for the whole. You're not seeing any part of you as, I'm doing this just because. When you start establishing the synthetic synthesis of the white ray, everything will come to the revelation of having a deeper purpose behind it as well. So I want to read you this, what is already shared in my creation pillar mission video. It's the documentary about the Alps, and you can also feel the light of the white ray coming through. That's why I was guided to do not just photos but videos, short video clips of the Alps. This was my gift to all of you. This was also an invitation to connect to the sacred portal if you feel called to work with the white ray. It's a synthesizing ray, which means that if you have been initiated into various other rays and you feel you're coming into that culmination of completion, the white ray and the essence of it will start presenting itself to you through either other people, the teachers who already embody this, who they're naturally in this embodiment, and for example through initiations that will lead you to that. Okay, now let's prepare a sacred space for this invitation, for this gift of the white ray. So the sacred fire of the white ray of unity consciousness, which is a synthesizing ray that promotes harmony and simplicity of being and the soul, the liberation and true embodiment, the freedom of the soul, is here. The white ray is required as the synthesis of all the natural elements as well as all other rays of embodiment. The white light is the light of the absolute truth, which is required for all true spiritual seekers, aspirants, and initiates of spirit seeking to embody divine truth and perfection. When the initiate of spirit is ready to ascend on a soul level, they are first required to perform a synthesis of all of their experiences of the soul and all the previously mastered cycles. Through the white ray, one is ready to clear away absolutely everything that is no longer beneficial for the soul and its genuine evolution, and enter into a completely new cycle of experience of being. Through a sacred purification act and ritual, the soul is ready to become crystallized and pure in its authentic essence of the prime light. The soul is ready to ascend, descend, and illuminate through its experience of the overlighted mastery. Yes, the white ray of the absolute truth is also a ray of clarity, deep understanding, and crystallized wisdom. Through walking the pathway of clarity and devotion to the highest, a spiritual seeker is ready to become a spiritual knower, a master in its complete soul integration. The soul level of self, of the wisdom that is crystallized, marks the pathway of walking in devotion to unity consciousness and becoming a universal guide for others, the seekers moving into the embodied light of unity. As one masters and refines themselves through the white ray, one is fully liberated, authentically free in the flow of their life force, a true channel for the life force of the Great Spirit. The initiation into the white ray of the absolute in total purity might require many lifetimes and dedications for many souls. To the one, through the right thought, word, and action. The deeds of the soul go through a karmic recycling and absolution, which acts as a dissolution of all that is untrue and within distortions and illusions. Here, one must be ready to witness, recognize, and hold everything within the truth alignment. This requires complete divine trust, strength, and courage. When one is ready for such a revelation, all the soul processes that are accrued within the white ray shall unfold naturally without any pressure or egoic will, for the soul matures and becomes ready to enter into the divine will of the Great One, the source of all life in creation, and as masculine and feminine aspect of God, Goddess, the Godhead. The initiation into the white ray is between the initiating spirit. It is not an act of outside delusions and confirmations, the seeking that comes as that validation. Therefore, one must become completely surrendered of the outside appearances, expectations, judgments, comparisons, and other selfish egoic pursuits of separation consciousness. There are many levels of attaining unity by transcending separation, and yet the white ray is that final destination for the initiate. That final call towards true soul purity, devotion, dedication to the Most High, and self-mastery. This is how one initiates the physical ascension pathway through soul alchemy, which can only occur when all other ray experiences are gathered from seeming fragmentation, synthesized as one whole unit and fully unified. When this is ready to occur as an inner alchemy, one will know it, for there will be no more separation between them and their higher self, meaning that the one will become the crystalline embodiment of their higher self and Christed consciousness and the sacred white fire of all life in creation. This path begins with complete understanding, respect, and compassion for all life in creation, meaning all experiences and life forms. Such are the spiritual laws that lead one into the understanding of creation principles and unity consciousness that is behind it all, which are the choosing requirements, such are the choosing requirements for the path of physical ascension. And it's a natural organic pathway when one is ready to leave behind the levels that were transcended. So in a way, we're always approached with the kind of knowledge, the masters, and energy that we are now ready to work with. So that was my main sharing. I hope you find some wisdom in that. I also encourage you to watch my Mission of a Creation Pillar video that was shared this fall. It really has even more to share in this aspect. If you somehow feel called to this path and you feel that you are in a way done with things of the lower and the lesser nature and you want to become an aspirant to serve a greater brotherhood of light, sisterhood of what I call the White Brotherhood. This is the united collective of all who serve unity consciousness. So the white ray is that synthesizing force that really guides us to complete self-examination, introspection, and mastery. So it has to deal with being and becoming a fully sovereign being. I have many videos on this topic as well. So if I ask that question one more time, what is behind the Christmas tree? What is underneath the Christmas tree this year? As you can see, it's in the white golden colors. That was my guidance because I received this vision of this tree, and the first thing that I saw as I came into this shop, that was this month of December, that was this white tree, and I knew it was more to celebrate the mastery of this white ray and ascension for me and for those who are in this pathway. It's a group altar that I placed here. I actually invested a lot of time in placing all this here, and I want to share it with you. It's a beautiful space. Somehow I encourage you to also work with this gold and white to just bring in more and more into your embodiment and whatever way in form. Sometimes we think, oh, these things are just physical, but even the way you're clothing yourself is you're wrapping yourself with this particular vibration, that you're putting it on you as the physical garment representing the garment of light around you. So this video is meant to assist everyone, and for what I wanted to create basically is that this holiday season, this festivity, and this gift is a gift of self-mastery, of complete coming into this union, of coming our full circle. I wanted to share this as my gift from me to you. If you somehow find resonance, thank you so much. And thank you for your support and feedback. And in the second part, I'm going to introduce you to some of the artwork that I'm doing. So let's see what's under the tree. So hello and welcome. We're going to look at what's underneath the tree. Well, the first thing I want to start with is what is actually next to the tree. So one of the things I love doing the most are what I call the Seraphim, the Seraph on the grid. This is the angel essence on a canvas grid. I have two sizes, big ones and small ones. Here you can see the small ones. What these are basically crystalline light grids. There's real crystals, specifically these crystals from the crystal cave here in the Alps. These are calcite crystals. They're actually, I have little ones shared here. And whatever kind of order you get from me, whenever you get something from my art shop, I don't call it a shop, it's just basically a sacred space, but you always get a pure calcite crystal, as well as I have here these tiny little bottles of crushed crystals. So I crush these to create them like into this crystalline powder. But when I do these paintings, and you can see the Seraphim has 6 levels. So Seraphim are always shown as having 6 wings. And in the middle you have this heart, the core. For me, that represents the 7th density, our angelic self, the creation part of us. Before we move into these outer, more external worlds of creation. And when we attune to that frequency, we start to receive light information from our celestial self. So when I do these Seraphim on grids, and I had these 2 as big orders from someone, so I liked to show them to all of you. Basically, I put the angel as I receive it on the canvas, and colors are always gold and white, with these flashes of energy radiating out. And in the middle, there's this 12-fold spiral of creation with a crystal, and a lot of times I work with white feathers as well. I also want to say that a lot of this comes through the energy of the mother of the pearl, the Seraphim, and like I said, the colors gold and white. So one of the other things that I create with these crystals is these, what I call the crystalline alpine light pads. These were specifically channeled this summer. They were for the purpose of integrating our light body, embodying our soul more in the physical sense. A light body merge can be, in a way, sometimes very challenging because the physical body still has these, sometimes what we perceive as ascension symptoms and limitations. So this bag with crushed crystal powder, some light sand from the Alps, some of the salts, Himalayan salts, bigger pieces, and they go from lesser to bigger pieces, as well with nettle oil attunement. These are very sacred, so when you take a bath, I gave one of these as a gift to my massage therapist, and she actually took it here, and she said, wow, this was very powerful. She actually couldn't get out of the bath for 1 hour. She said it was very intense, and she felt this strength of light calling her all of a sudden, like strong purification. Well, I also have the basic thing you can get is just this. It's like a bag. It's like a white organza bag full of these crystals. And these crystals are, again, like I say, they're fully authentic here from the Alps. This is my most basic thing you can get from me. It's I don't have to create it into art. So that's just something you want to have to grid your own light and your own sacred crystalline grids you're doing or using any kind of crystal work. That's what you can get. But with any kind of order, you will get your own personal crystal from the cave, working with the white rays specifically as well, and this little bottle. So I want to now share one last product that is crystalline in nature. Oh, I want to show you that some of the stones are also like little geodes, and I have lots of them in my own home. So I've created basically in a star formation. As you can see, I can show it like this, but it's like they're all coming out of one big giant piece, and I created them in a star formation. So this is what I have here at home. It's just one of the ways to show you what you can do beautifying your own environment, but at the same time, you're not just beautifying it, you're putting sacred geometry patterns, you're putting light patterns into your home environment so that you can be attuned to greater levels of light. So I love to work with these crystals. One of my favorite things to do, I have bigger ones as well, but I prefer these because they're so cute. These are my light wands. These are the mini crystal wands. You can see bigger pictures on my webpage, Seraphim Light, but I love these. You can just hold one and kind of fit the hand. And I also use them for decorating my altars as well. I just love because a lot of these crystals I found around the cave are pointy, and you can do a lot of beautiful things with them. And you can make them in many different shapes and forms. Like these are, for example, representing the Sacred Trinity. You can see they have a triangle, and this one is an angel with wings. So it's a very creative work. So they come in packaging like this. I don't talk about this a lot. Most of the things I've been doing with my art were behind the scenes. So I'm kind of showing you this now as a way to get it out there also vibrationally, so you can attune to that. I really love this one that I did a while ago. A mini crystal angel on the grid. This is as well in my home, but you can get this one as well. So big size or tiny size. What I like to do with them is just decorate altar spaces with them. So we have basically every room, every corner of the here in the room for us is like an altar. In a way, our whole living space, because I'm holding the vibration and frequency for so many souls, and because the white light, the white ray does that. It's a unity collective. A lot of what comes through is everything needs to be structured, and in the end, it becomes an altar space. It's just I can't help it. That's just how it is. If you're wondering about why my symbol, if you're watching my videos, there's a logo type in the beginning, and that's the channeled signature I got for my purpose. And I was recently guided to create these stones. You can see them again as well on my webpage. They have a heart in the middle, which is the symbol for this being a heart ascension, and a word S, which is for the Seraphim. And there's a circle with 12 rays of light, golden white frequency coming and emanating out, as well as some crystal stones glued around it, and then angelic wings springing forth from that. So you can see that here. This is the symbol, the logo type. But just recently, when I was doing these big babies, I had this vision that I want to put this big seraphim with 6 wings on stones. But as you know, I work a lot in terms of art with my mother, who paints beautiful soul mandalas. And I gave her this little homework to create these as angels on stones. And you can see them here. They're very beautiful. Like this. So, yeah. White and gold. These are so cute, and I asked her to do this for me, that every art order would get one of these as a gift because they're simply so beautiful. Just holding them, just looking at them, I'm like, I want to keep them all, and I know I can't. And we don't have the space, but it's also just like this. And one of the last things that I want to say is based on the crystal work is I just have these crystals that I found in the cave. They just come with like an angelic pendant like this, and you can use them to do the dowsing work as well if you want. But basically these are again these golden calcite crystals. You can see them in here like this. If not everything is available on my page, then if you anything you like from here, because it takes a lot of time to put everything there. I haven't put everything there yet. But the other thing about this is, there's more here, are when I do the wrapping of the crystal, but then I also place it on a beautiful necklace, which looks like this. You can see. Some of them are from the cave, and some of them came from the high Alps. A lot of them were fossilized stones that I found, but all the stones I found were very highly vibrational. They called me out, and I had to take them home, and they wanted to be put in a certain kind of wrapping. So this is how it can also look like. For pictures, just go to the page. And this is all that has to do with crystals. And as I said, I want to show you the medallions. I'm wearing one right here, right now. And the Ascension medallions look like this, right? So at the behind, they always have written I am. They have a crystalline stone in the middle. I started now working with crystals as well, but some of these stones are pure white stones that for me, they really represent this, the purity, and how the stone, when it starts to crystallize, it starts to change structure and becoming more and more refined. So there's big medallions, and I also created this version for those who prefer small, because the big ones are meant to be worn more as just for devotional work. I don't wear mine often, just for these certain gateway attunements and such. But the tiny ones can as well be worn as a jewelry because they're more, you know, simplified, and they have this little angel here. And so the tiny ones look, they're smaller and look like this. Okay, and the last ones, no, last two ones of the necklaces are, they're all wired here. This is the Seraphim. So this is like a tiny angel seraph that I created. This is the Seraphim mala. It's 108 stones, as you know. This is how malas are made. But for me, really, again, it was about putting the seraph frequency. It has a little golden heart. These are limited editions, so there's only a few that are available. And last ones are malas. Malas look like this. They're made from gemstones. All gemstones, again, 108, so there's a lot of gemstones here. And they have a Seraphim angel like this, and a hanging. Basically, yeah. Let's get all bling bling here. Okay, so this is how it looks if I put the medallion away for a while. Okay, so these are all to attune to yourself. They're anointed. Everything I do is anointed with the golden white light, with the energy of Seraphim. What else to say about this? Nothing. I want to say this, what it says here, this stone my mom made, and it says, thank you for everything. So if you want to get detailed photos, just go to my webpage. I will add whatever is necessary there, but there's always new things I'm adding there. So I hope one day in the physical way, when people come and visit me, that will be available there. And until that time, until the meantime, this is all we have. Thank God for the internet, so we can share this so that it can go out into the world. But I'm really proud of these big Seraphim grids, because whenever they go out, I feel they take that essence and they carry it to that part of the world when they're moving. You know, I feel them like living structures, the patterns of light. And the funny thing is, every time I channel them through, everyone is different. So what you see here might look different, the same, but they're actually different. Looks like duplicates, but they're different colors and different approaches. It's like everyone is unique that I approach. And each time I do it a bit differently. The thing is that this is an automatic channel process. It's not something you do as in, you know, that process, like almost like a stamped process, right? Each item the same. Everyone is channeled, and although it looks okay, the same essence is in all of it, it's still uniquely specified because it's not manufacturally made. If someone gets an order, they get also encoded with the light that they require for themselves at that time being. And it's always with the presence and the guidance of Serapis and Seraphim as well, and the White Lady, the Lady of the White Ray. I call you can read about the Elohim Astrea. This is the higher extension, more cosmic, broader version of that energy. When it descends and comes more and more into form, we, on this human reality right now, this human pathway, we can bring that into a human embodiment as well, in a more micro version. But again, we're working with energy that's very pure. And for me, the art, the sound, the dance, the music is the highest attunement when the light comes through non-interrupted. Because the moment when we start putting it either into words, anything that starts to be more filtered through a human language, through a human decoding and encoding, it changes already. So art is the purest way of how energy just flows through it. And I'm not taught in a way artist. I didn't learn, I didn't perceive myself as an artist. I just love to do these vibrational tools to carry the energy and through beauty, because for me, beauty is the highest aspect of grace. On my page, when you visit the Grace Art section on Seraphim Light, you're going to also see down below a quote from Krishnamurti, one of my favorite beings. He wrote this beauty on art, so read that as well. You can find that attunement. Okay, I also want to say that these Seraphim, which is Seraphim Light products, they always come with a hand-knitted bag. The Seraphim malas come in this copper golden one, and the Ascension, these beautiful big babies come in the white one with an emblem A, which is for Ascension, and then malas come in S for Seraphim, and they're kind of like creamy and white as well. And guess what? My mother makes these. She's so devoted. I ask her, she just makes it. She's just a pure channel for anything that needs to come through, non-interrupted. It's a very beautiful process, very organic. We work together as a team many times, so I love this. I love the art of co-creation. And I hope you enjoy this beautiful sacred space. I'm going to walk you through it again at the end. And I wish you such a beautiful festive time of the holy lights, of the holy light that is within you, and the attunement to the sacred fire of all, the white light of unity. May you be united in your heart, your mind, the body, and the spirit all one. And the light of ascension, which is the heart ascension, to flow through us, through the extensions that we bring to this world. And if you like anything here, this is my sacred space, then you can visit the webpage, or if you don't know or you can't find it there, just contact me, tell me what kind of products you would like, or if you have an idea and you want me to make it. I also sometimes, and this is written there in my Grace Art page, sometimes I take custom inspired orders as well, if I have time, if I'm guided. So that's the inspiration coming through at this time. So enjoy your festive holiday time as we kind of culminate this beautiful big year. It took me quite a while to prepare this space, not just today as in I was putting it, but as in making it, and all of these items very much with focus on the detail and precision and refinement. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to your beautiful heart of all hearts and one radiant heart of all. And I will see you again very soon. May the grace of the one be with all of us. So much love, wisdom, and power, and beauty. Bye.